You've heard of Bitcoin, right? Of course you have. But what if I told you the real revolution isn't the coin itself, but the engine that makes it run? We're talking about blockchain, a technology that could seriously change everything, from the food you eat to how we vote. Let's dive in.
So, this is really the big question we're tackling today. Is the technology that powers Bitcoin actually a much bigger deal than Bitcoin itself? Let's unpack it and see what we find out. All right, first things first, we need to get a solid handle on what a blockchain actually is. We're going to strip away all the jargon and get right to the heart of it. So, what is a blockchain? The best way to think about it is like a magical, shared digital notebook. Every time a transaction happens, it's a new entry. But here's the twist. This notebook isn't sitting in one person's office. Nope. It's copied and spread out across thousands of computers all over the world. And once a page in that notebook is filled up, it gets sealed with some really fancy math, cryptography. And it's there forever. You can't change it, you can't erase it. That, in a nutshell, is decentralization and immutability. No single person is in charge, and the past is set in stone. These four things right here are what give blockchain its superpowers. You've got a system with no central boss, where anyone can check the receipts, and it's all locked down tight with basically military-grade security. But that last one, programmable, that's where things get really wild. With what are called smart contracts, you can write code that automatically enforces an agreement. Imagine booking flight insurance that instantly pays you the second your flight is officially delayed. No forms, no phone calls, no waiting. That's the kind of power we're talking about. And when you put blockchain side by side with the old way of doing things, the difference is just stark. Instead of one bank or one company controlling all the data, that power is spread out among everyone. Instead of closed-off records, you get an open book. It's a massive shift from a system where you have to trust a middleman to a system where trust is literally built into the code itself. Okay, so that's the theory, but this isn't just some idea floating around in cyberspace. Blockchain is already out there in the real world, being used in ways that might actually surprise you. Let's take a look. And I mean, this is not science fiction. Right now, as we speak, Walmart uses blockchain to track its vegetables. So if there's a food safety scare, they can trace a head of lettuce from the shelf all the way back to the exact farm it came from in seconds, not weeks. That's a huge deal for our health. Or look at Estonia. An entire country is using blockchain for digital IDs. This makes everything from voting to getting your medical records way more secure and efficient. This stuff is happening today. And it's spreading into other areas too, like the creative world. You've probably heard of NFTs, right? But the real magic isn't just a picture of an ape. It's the smart contract behind it. An artist can program it so that every single time their art gets resold, they automatically get a cut. It's built-in royalties, guaranteed. The common thread here, whether you're talking gaming items or healthcare records, is about shifting control away from big companies and back to you, the individual. Okay, now, it's not all smooth sailing. For blockchain to really hit the big time, it's got to get over some pretty serious hurdles. Let's get into the reality check portion of our show. Probably the biggest challenge right now is something called scalability. The best way to picture it is a highway. When too many cars try to get on the road all at once, you get a massive traffic jam. Well, on a blockchain, that kind of congestion doesn't just slow things down to a crawl. It also makes everything super expensive. People have to basically bid to get their transactions through. So when things get busy, that toll can get so high that it's just not practical for small things like, buying a cup of coffee. And this really shows you the gap we need to close. Traditional banking? Slow. Current blockchains? A little better, but still pretty inconsistent. The goal, the holy grail, is to get to that third bar, a network that's as fast and can handle as much traffic as something like Visa, but still has all the security and decentralization of a blockchain. Then, of course, there's the energy debate. You've probably heard about this. The first blockchains, like Bitcoin, use a system called proof of work. It's basically a giant competition where computers try to solve super complex puzzles, and it uses a ton of electricity. But the industry is moving on. The new model is called proof of stake. Instead of solving puzzles, users put their own coins up as collateral to validate transactions. The end result? It's over 99% more energy efficient, a totally crucial step for this technology's future. And yeah, the list goes on. Governments are still trying to figure out the rules. It can be really confusing for newcomers to get started. All these different blockchains don't speak the same language. And let's be real, its reputation has taken a few hits from scams and crazy price swings. All of these are major roadblocks. But And this is a big but. For every single challenge, there are brilliant people all over the world working on a solution. This is where it gets really exciting. Let's look at the innovations that are paving the way forward. So one of the biggest headaches is that all these different blockchains basically live in their own little digital universes. They don't naturally talk to each other, which is a big problem. The solution has a fancy name: interoperability. You've got projects like Polkadot and Cosmos that are essentially building the digital bridges and highways to connect all these separate blockchain islands. The goal is to create a true internet of blockchains, where data and value can just flow seamlessly from one to another. And to solve that traffic jam problem, developers are building what they call Layer 2 solutions. Think of it like an express toll lane on the highway. Instead of every single car or transaction clogging up the main road, Layer 2s bundle thousands of them together, process them super fast on the side road, and then just post a single summary back to the main highway. The result is a massive boost in speed and a huge drop in those pesky fees. Now this is where the future gets really mind-bending. Blockchain isn't going to exist in a bubble. Imagine a shipping container with smart sensors that are constantly recording its temperature on a blockchain. Then you have an AI analyzing that data in real time. If the temperature ever goes outside the safe range, a smart contract could instantly trigger an insurance payout and alert everyone involved. That's the kind of automatic, trustworthy system we're moving toward. So when you put it all together, the core ideas, the real-world uses, the problems, and the incredible solutions being built, what does the big picture look like? Could we be looking at the foundation for a whole new type of global infrastructure? Think about this number for a second. Over 1 billion people around the world don't have access to even a basic bank account. For them, blockchain isn't about some speculative investment. It's a potential lifeline. It could mean having a secure way to save, to send, and to receive money using nothing more than a simple smartphone and an internet connection. It completely bypasses the need for traditional banks. The potential impact is just enormous. We're talking about a more inclusive financial world, a new level of transparency and accountability for governments, a more efficient system for global trade, and a way to truly empower individual artists and creators. It is a fundamental rethinking of how we trust each other and exchange value in a digital age. Which brings us right back to where we started. The internet connected all of us by completely changing how we share information. The promise of blockchain is to do the exact same thing for value. It offers a new way for us to interact and do business with anyone, anywhere in the world, with trust built right into the system itself, instead of relying on a third party. So, will this technology truly redefine the foundation of digital trust? Well, that is the billion-dollar question, isn't it?